Parfums Vintage King. This is another one of their new releases. It is the follow-up to King Intense, which I have and did a review on a while ago. If you want to check that one out, feel free to do so. I'm going to be taking a look at King. Now, King is inspired by very bright and fruity batches of Aventus. If you watched my review of King Intense, you know that that one is targeting very woody batches of Aventus with a lot more woods and some patchouli and some darker and sweeter notes, which gives it a lot of depth and a lot of backbone. Now, King, like I said, is all about bright Aventus. If you guys like that bright, fruity, pineapple-y, citrusy Aventus, this is what you're going to want to go for, because it does that really, really well. When you first spray this one right off the top, as you can imagine from what I just said, you're going to get a lot of fruits. Now, it's not just a pineapple blast and that's all. You get pineapple, but along with that you get a lot of the other fruits that Aventus is kind of known for. You get the apple, you get the black currant, and really it's just all comes together to create this nice fruity citric type of fruitiness. When I talked about King Intense, that one was a very syrupy kind of fruitiness, but this one is a little bit more citric. It's a little bit more crisp and fresh. If you guys are familiar with batches of Aventus, this one reminds me a lot of 16 K11. K11 is a very bright and fruity batch. As you can imagine, I actually have that one and it's one of my favorites. And it reminds me a lot of that. So they're definitely taking inspiration from very bright and, you know, fruity, citrusy dominated batches of Aventus. Following into the Drydown, it's pretty much the same thing. You still get a lot of that fruit, but it's kind of fades away a little bit into more of that typical slightly woody Drydown. Again, it's not anywhere near as woody and as dark as King Intense, but it still keeps a lot of its fruitiness and, you know, bright character even in the Drydown. Now, performance on this one on me is okay so far. Now, I was actually just talking back and forth with Parfums Vintage, and this one they actually just recently bottled. Now, as you guys know, when you're making fragrances, they need some time to sit and mature. They just sent this one out to me, and they said that performance may not be quite where it should be right now, but in about a week or so it should get better. And comparing this one to Vanilla Intense, which I reviewed last night, there is quite a bit of a difference. This one started to disappear a little bit quicker than Vanilla Intense, but one thing to keep in mind is, again, it does need a little bit more time to mature. And if you guys are going to be ordering these, about by the time it gets to you roughly, it should be to that point where it's fully matured. And I have no doubt that when it is to that point, it won't last longer, because like I said, King Intense lasts a very long time, and their Rush of Unicorns, which was their take on older batches of Millennium Imperial, that also lasts a really long time. And Parfums Vintage is no slouch when it comes to performance on their fragrances, so I have no doubt that give this a little bit of time that it'll get stronger as it goes. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Maybe when you get your bottle, it'll be strong right away because it's reached that point of maturation, or, you know, whatever fancy word I can't say. But for me right now, it's not quite there compared to Vanilla Intense, but it's still not bad. It doesn't perform bad. It's just not quite to that really, really high level of performance yet. Right now, mine is at about 6 to 7 hours or so, but it still does jump off my skin good. And like I said, 6 to 7 hours isn't bad. That's actually pretty good performance, especially for fruitier takes on, you know, Aventus DNA. So really overall, no complaints as of right now, and it's really only expected to get stronger as it goes on. So as far as versatility goes, guys, you know the drill. This is an Aventus inspired fragrance. It's very bright, very fruity. This one to me isn't quite as versatile as Vanilla Intense, just because, like I said in that review, Vanilla Intense I feel like can be more worn year round, even in the cooler weather, because of that vanilla, that added depth. It really helps it stand out. Don't get me wrong, this one can still be worn in the cooler weather. It'll probably hold up fine, but because of that bright and fruity nature that it has, I would prefer this more for warm summer and spring days like it is here right now. So overall, it is still very versatile, but just not quite on that level as Vanilla Intense. So if you're looking for a really, really good all year round, any occasion type of fragrance, even if you have really, really cold winters, personally I would go with Vanilla Intense, but you can't go wrong with this one either. Both are going to hold up really well. That's pretty much my take on King. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, in my last review, and like I was telling Parfums Vintage, I think this and Vanilla Intense is some of their best work yet. I was really wowed by both of these, especially Vanilla Intense. You know, I'm not being paid to say this. I know people get all butthurt when you know, whatever. So not being paid to say this, just my opinion. I think they killed it with both of these new releases. So there will be a link down below to their website if you want to grab bottles, if you want to grab samples. Again, it's not like an affiliate link. I'm not getting paid if you go buy on the link or whatever, but honestly, just check them out. They're really good. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Let me know down below what you think, and that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.